96913236 for more information.
Everybody's looking for that one thing that pushes them to bring out their best and gets them to perform at the highest level. Your car wants the same thing. So that's why you need to give it Shell Helix engine oil, which is lubricant Munkosohini. It doesn't matter where you are on the open road or in traffic. Shell Helix will keep your engine running very, very well. Visit your local Shell station today and experience the difference for yourself. Now, one of the things we are dealing with as a society is discrimination, or two things, discrimination and stigmatization. And it's against those suffering from HIV or TB. That's why WAPCAS and WILDAF are joining forces to fight these barriers. WAPCAS is the Ghana West Africa program to combat AIDS and STIs, and WILDAF is the Women in Law and Development Africa. So call them 0800 123 555 or 0204 917 521. Pepsodent Cavity Fighter is what you need if you want to have strong teeth. It's fortified with profluoride and has microcalcium ingredients sealing tiny and invisible holes in your teeth that prevents cavities and keeps your teeth strong and mouth healthy. Call Pepsodent's Care Center on 0800 200030. And always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and before you sleep at night.
So apparently the Bate clan and the Jovia clan, Sky, they are the two royal clans, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So that's where the chieftaincy originates.
Yes.
And this is on your mother's side or your father's side?
This is the father's side.
Okay, so Bate clan. Anyway, so we're still trying to demystify
Some things.
remove the stereotypes. Okay, so there's a question somebody wants me to ask you guys. So when people say fancies are funny, is it a stereotype or not? So when they say fantiful or muesri,
No, I think the fancies and the chichos is more of a stereotype than the fancies are funny.
what is in chichos?
You know, the people tell you that fancies like the food.
Yeah, they say fancy women like fried egg.
It's not just the fly, they like in chichos. Like,
Hey,
like,
you know, I'll tell you
something
something.
that you do basic.
Somebody
like,
did tea for me to drink, and then I said, "Hey, there's a lot of sugar and milk." And they said, "She's a fancy woman," because apparently they think that when fancies do food, they
It's to be sochi.
is it a stereotype?
Yeah, the fancies and the chichos. I'm a quiz, it's a fancy man. he would tell
They
you.
add everything to it.
Like,
Like,
actually, is that positive or negative? I think if it's positive, it's not a stereotype. But if it's negative, it's a stereotype.
No, I think maybe your definition of a stereotype is a bit narrow.
Then help me.
In that.
So maybe
regard.
somebody should give us a working definition of a stereotype.
Yeah, widen it a bit.
Okay,
I think it can include. I don't think
Positives.
it's just negative.
Okay, fine. That's funny. So you're saying things we associate with certain groups,
Yes.
which, okay, let me also say it could be true in the past, right?
Yeah,
It could be true in our past.
Yes.
So and some of these stereotypes could emerge from things that happened in our history that blotted the view of a group in the eyes of another group,
okay.
which may not necessarily be true today. All right, so you know some of the old wars and some of the things that happen in the war. So they will say, this is how they are. Even if you go to our hometowns, like if you come to like if you go to a town which has like different groups. So if you go to Peki, there are like 8 or 9 Peki towns. They'll say the people from this board are like this, the people from this place are like that. I don't know whether that's also a stereotype.
Based on history.
They'll tell you that historically, your people are the guys who did this, your people are the guys who did that. I don't know whether that's a stereotype or whether that's just, they say everyone's are carpenters. Or they always like carpenter. They say F-O.
Even tailor. Your traditional tailor.
Oh, please. Tailor?
Yes.
Tailor, I'm not sure.
No, you see, Bernard, it is sometimes.
Carpenter, possibly, but tailor, no.
Oh, Bernard, your traditional tailor.
Carpenters, they're more always.
Yes, but
But I can explain that, though.
okay, explain.
I mean, Sky, you know that and this is what they tell typical West. We somehow, because there aren't a lot of natural mineral resources being exploited in the Volta region, most areas value education or learning a trade. Where learning a trade could be carpentry, plumbing, masonry. So if you're an Ewe person's son, you are trained to go to school or use your hands, and there's dignity in it. So blacksmith, plumber, carpenter, mason, weaving. We are very, very good at doing it. Like my next door neighbor for many, many years was a weaver. So I don't know whether it's because of and most will tell you that they will tell them that if you go to school, learn hard. If you can't go to formal school, go to informal school and learn a trade. Do you get it? So if an Ewe person reaches a certain age and they aren't in school, they'll be learning a trade. And they will learn it from their father. So even if they won't go to a formal school, you can't just be there.
Yeah.
You get me? So I don't know if that's a stereotype or not. I don't know.
But I was reading a literature in the UK, one of our libraries in the UK. I've forgotten the title of this literature, but it was authored by a German, basically explaining the movement from old Egypt, right? And the suggestion was made that the Evers originated, talked up from there, and at the time they were working under
That's what
pharaohs.
we call the Hamitic theory.
They also moved and came to Marejata, whatever. Some movement.
But what's the link between that and learning trades?
And that they were doing a lot of these jobs. These carpentry, masonry, the people who do
Whilst they were on the march.
ornaments and all of that.
Yeah.
The beads.
Jewelry.
Jewelry and all of these things. And as they moved, they carried with them.
So what I would say is that in Medina, when I was young, the main blacksmiths I knew were Ewes. The main weavers I knew were Ewes. Most of the carpenters I knew were Ewes. Most of the bean sellers were Ewes. That's the truth. Most of the bean sellers I know, there was only one who was an Adan woman. Most of the bean sellers I knew were Ewes. Right, and then...
And the jewelry sellers too, I believe.
So I don't know whether it's said. I don't know what it is.
Let me give you some more messages and comments on this. Abi will help me out here.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bernadette. Guys don't travel. Typical example, Nathan. If not for work, he won't travel. Fred says this. Good morning.
Because all the good things are in Accra. I believe that. Look, if
let me read
you want to be a clerk, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a teacher, all these beautiful things, to a large extent, are in Accra. Why would you go to some village to go and do what?
But you see, that was historically true, where a lot of the point in the civil service were guards. But now the civil service is no longer full of guards. So it means that they also have to change, if that's true. If it's true that they don't travel, which I don't think is true, though.
And this message addresses that. And Pofua from Adenta says, Bernadette, there are always exceptions to every rule. The fact that a couple of people do otherwise doesn't mean the notion is false.
Okay.
Tell Bernard that today, Sky is correct.
About what?
Evers like Pepe. Red. Abeku. Evers like Pepe. Red. Let him feel the pain. Bernard.
Evers like Pepe and Red.
Yes. Bernard. Cats themselves are uncomfortable in neighborhoods densely populated by our people.
I think wrong exception.
Cats themselves are uncomfortable in neighborhoods densely populated by our people. Most stereotypes about Evers are mostly things common among unless just most non-Evers do not know about diverse groups of Evers.
That's what I was trying to say.
Classified into Anlos, Avenos, Tong, and Wedomes.
Yes, no, let's do it. The Anglos, the Tongs, the
Aveno,
and then the Vedome. So so a typical Anglo town is Angloga or Keta. So and they are the predominant. So again, even Georgia people, they are not Anglo people.
Okay.
All right, and then the buffer between Anglo and what do you call it? Aveno is the Georgia people.
Okay.
All right. So there are different groups, but yes, all of us have said they say we are Anglo people.
wants to know about Evers and carpentry. We've discussed that. Rosemary from Osino says, "You guys are making me laugh." Bernard, two things. Accept it.
The red they won't accept. The cat is 60-40. The red they agree.
And Mr. Delas says the guard. Edu inside OEB says the guard travel. Yellow and blue gives you green, but red attracts only good luck.
Georgia is part of the 36 states of Anglo, so you are a woman, yes.
Let me wrap up.
But there was a certain, when you listen to some of our artists, what they say is like they are like at the, how do I put it? They are the fringes.
Yeah, which is true.
They are the fringes. So
part of the 36 states of the Anglo states, you are.
But that's a political arrangement. That's not an anthropological arrangement.
Well, okay.
Just, I
understand the movement.
What I'm told is that we are Anglos when the 36 want to go and fight. But there are days they claim that they are separate.
Oh, okay. In terms of they want to assert their independence.
That's the way
there's a whole history to that. Generally,
yes,
the Evers don't want an overlord because of the experiences they had throughout history.
Exactly.
So they would want to manage their own spaces as opposed to ceding their authority.
Yes, because
to be
our experience with big
chiefs and kings
has not been good.
hasn't been good. Yes,
Nathan,
From
God
Pharaoh,
please help me.
Okay.
Yes.
Go to the various Gap communities, the Miami. Then they chop cat pass everything.
I'm told that
Sakuma,
Teshin, they like cat pan.
But you also know that there's a high concentration of birds there.
Why do you want to blame us for this?
No, I'm just saying.
Why do you want to blame us for the Teshin? They say Ghana people like cat. You say we are the people in our town.
I'm not saying. I'm saying that there's also a high concentration.
No, the other point about our migration is true though. I was told recently that if you go to certain communities in the eastern region, the areas are so integrated that, for example, towns like Osiem, they were majority areas many years before. Begoro,
Pantiakwa areas.
plenty areas. So, and that I can explain because of farm work and migration.
In fact, in the Chim area, heavy concentration. They are farming cocoa farms and all of that.
And the other point about the areas and the carpentry is, so I need to explain this to you. So, you know, while I was doing some readings around, again, colonialism, right? So, every land generally was colonized by the Germans.
Yes.
Right? So, the parts of Volta region and Togo were under German rule. Now, the philosophy of German colonizers was in artisanal training. So, apart from the points I made about areas sending people to do a trade, the Germans inculcated
A lot of that.
that into the
vocational training.
Yes, so vocational training was very strong part of the German
This
training.
one's Gabriel Interma says, I'm from Adafiano. The Bate clan don't eat cat. My step grandfather is from that clan and he doesn't eat cat and it's forbidden in our house.
But that is the opposite true.
Bernard.
You see, that point is true. The point about the Bate not eating cat is true. But it's the opposite true.
Which is what?
That the rest of us, we are eating cat.
Oh, no, that's why I said that. You know, it cannot
But
be a
exceptions
general
to the rule.
Yeah, there are. You see, so there's a general rule.
Why should one
That-
of our two Anglo-Royal clans...
There's a predisposition.
Think about it, too. We have about 15 clans mentioned. One of the two main royal clans don't eat cat. And yet cat is our delicacy.
Now, Felinat has a very interesting
It's not, it doesn't sit well with me.
Listen to Felinat from East Legon. Felinat says, all what we heard about tribes and ethnic groups while we were young in schools were just a myth. Especially the red color of the Evers.
Yes.
It's never true.
Never.
Instead, it rather dominates their shanties in their games.
Coco.
Let's learn
Or
to
to go
unlearn what we have learned.
Yes.
That's what
This red sky,
Felinat
is
says.
you say that your theory on red was weak because you had a flag of red, gold, green, and yellow, and you claim that it was.
And I said that if you mix red and green, you get yellow.
So how does that make red our number one color?
I'm just telling you the predisposition.
Oh, please.
There's a predisposition. You see, I'm not making a matter.
When you look on that flag, when you look on the Anglo flag, what color jumps at you?
Definitely not red.
The red is
in the
red.
middle. The red is in the middle.
No, you see, but red is a stripe in the middle.
Yes.
But it is dominant effect colors the whole thing.
How?
Look, let me bring the flag to you again, so you look at it. In fact, if you are listening to us, dig it up. The Anglo
I
flag.
don't know how. Maybe you are color blind.
Oh, how?
How does green, and yellow make red the dominant color?
Look at it. Is it not standing out at you?
It's in the
Is
middle.
red? Yes,
It's in the middle.
But it is standing out at you. That is
yes.
the effect of red. Authority, valor.
Yes, that's true. But what? How does that relate to always liking red?
I'm saying that you see, there's a predisposition.
Based on this flag?
No, I told you about history. That look in the villages, when you are asked to go to the Unshima, Tekperashima, which is bend down boutique, the instruction will be if you are going to buy me.
But bend down
top-
boutique is a modern phenomenon. It's not an ancient phenomenon.
Oh no,
Bend down,
I'm using that as an example. They will give you the instruction is just to.
Your theory is weak.
You just don't want to.
No, the theory, the evidence to back the theory is
Well, you might get some evidence from
the
the
evidence
messages.
to back the theory.
Look, Rosina sent me a
Rosie
message.
is this week.
Rosina sent me a
Go on.
message.
Get more
It's
evidence.
not up for her. The red song.
But is Rosina a normal way?
Yes.
How many girls ride motorbikes? How many Rosina who should play b-ball for Lagos? Rosina is not a normal. Rosina, I put it to you that I'm not a normal person. that you can be telling. She was in our school basketball team. She rides motorbike on sister.
Yeah.
How is she a typical person to? She's not a typical.
But, okay, you see, the point is that
I'm disqualified.
no, Bernard, you should go to the Volta region.
The Rosina is too modern.
No, you see, when you go to the Volta region,
Yes.
many of these sporting activities,
Yes.
the girls are topping.
No, that's not what I'm going.
But it's the same thing.
No.
Playing basketball.
No, you don't get it. You don't get it. I'm
Okay.
just joking. I'm saying Rosina is not your typical.
It's okay.
person.
Let me.
Yeah.
Andy says,
Oh,
team,
cool.
as a pure Achim man that eats delicious red meat and drinks from Biriam, My favorite colors are red and green.
Thank you.
My director refused my request to paint one portion of my office red. These two colors excite me to be very productive.
And a team man.
This is Andy.
Red.
Is this,
And it's red meat too.
red meat.
Bernard,
Do you know red meat?
Do you know red meat?
Do you know red meat?
Continue.
No, do you know red meat?
Before you continue, let me give you one more evidence.
It's dog.
You know the backdrop of the Speaker of Parliament.
Yes.
Long before the likes of Do Ajaho became the Speaker of Parliament, it's always been, you had the kete, you have the variation of some other colors. But when the Honorable Do Ajaho became...
Is that even if the stereotypes were true in the past, so many things have changed. You know, so Charlie, I don't even know.
So Barry sent me a message, and Barry says that, look, it is not true that guns don't travel. Let me read that comment for you, Bernard. Barry says that, here's what he said. He says that, good morning, my friend.
The phone has gone, the thing has gone off.
It's gone off.
Okay, we'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it.
A couple more comments. Ben, most areas are teachers too. I'm sure the Volta region has more teacher training colleges than any other region. I'm not sure this is true. Is it true
Okay.
that the region has more teacher training colleges? I'm not
As
sure.
in the Volta region.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That for a fact. This one says guns migrate a lot. That's what Barry's saying that a lot, but are predominantly along coastal areas. The migration spans along the West African coastline. And this one from my former girls prefect
In secondary school.
The traditional person, right? The traditional
It's
person.
going there again. No? As against which group?
I'm talking about
When
the
the
traditional. I'm not speaking for any other group.
when the polygamous fancies, when the polygamous ashantis, when the polygamous
you see, you can make that argument, but I'm telling you what I know.
No, but I'm saying that
traditional.
what you are saying is the argument is not about traditional Ghanaian society not being polygamous. The argument is that they say if you go for an Ewe man, he most likely has more than one hidden. So the argument is not about traditional Ghanaian society and polygamy. The argument is about the stereotype that Ewes are more likely to be. That's my point.
My father had a number of wives, right?
Yes.
And I can put it on authority. Your father.
Yes. But wait.
Hold on. I'm saying.
Yes.
Your father must have had more than one wife.
He didn't have more than one wife.
No, you see, it's a question of at the time.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that having more than one female partner or wife is not the exclusive preserve of Ewes.
No, that is true.
Yet it is used. I'm saying it is used in normal Ghanaian talk, particularly when you speak to non-Ewe women about when they take a man home. That's what they will typically say. They'll say to you that and this is not just Ewe. So if generally, and I would say maybe I'm wrong, but there are stereotypes about certain kinds of guns too. But the typical thing they say about the Ewe person is that he most likely has an Ewe wife already.
Most likely.
And I'm coming to that. And I'm saying that is there a survey? So, for example, statistical service can help us. Let's look at the number of polygamous
Nobody will answer this
polygamous unions in Ghana, and whether there's a preponderance of polygamous men being Ewes as against Dagomba man.
To have one right is what should ordinarily apply across the board. In which case, the traditional person who believes in Maugan Sobolisa, which is the Almighty God, right? Yeah. But does not necessarily believe that. The Christian faith,
but
right?
I get you, but you don't get me. My point is not. I'm saying that there are many things people say about Ewes which I believe are about ignorance, dislike, or suspicion or fear.
I'm coming. That a heavy dose of our people are traditional in their approach to the worshipping of God.
No, but what has that got to do with what I'm saying about stereotypes about us for many things?
You see, so it may be anecdotal, and the history supports it. That look, we didn't always have the Christian position.
But that's all the groups. It's not just Ewes.
No, that's what I'm saying.
6 years in Volta, next 6 years in Bono, next 6 years in Ashanti, and the next 6 years in the north, and then you are able to compare. Then you say the preponderance of that is within the Ewe group. I would accept it. But you spend the first half of your life in the Volta region, so you know a lot about the Volta region. My point is that the general Ghanaian population if they want to make a conclusion about which group is more predisposed to having more than one, you are not the best example because you've lived in only Greater Accra and Volta.
And you see, you are assuming. No. You see, hold on.
Yeah.
When you grow up in the Volta region,
Yeah.
you become aware of something, which
Yeah.
is what a first strong plug better strong. They say that, which is to say what you have a foreign wife, right? And then you have a first strong, which is you have married from the roots. You understand? These are things
Because you are using only your ever experience, you cannot then make that a particular
There are
generalization.
Ghanaians who have multiple wives, right? There are Ghanaians who have multiple wives, right?
So why should
But I have just used the Apestron and the. So they will tell you. I mean, your uncles will tell you about it. In some cases, your father will tell you about it. Okay, yes. They would ask you.
So you're saying that based on your experience, the system, the airway system,
to some extent,
is permissive.
Oh yes.
Okay, not even permissive. It's more permissive of that than other groups.
You see, I don't want to use other groups. You see, the point is that
Because that's for me. That's where the West stereotype comes from. Because we all do many things. There are many. Hold on. The whole discussion today is about we all eat different. Airways are more likely to have more than one. So that's my point. So the argument is not about whether it's right or wrong.
So you see,
I'm talking about somebody's preference and how they perceive your group.
So you see, so that was where the law came in to say that if you marry under the ordinance, you're entitled to just one, right? But if you decide to go the customary way, you can marry as many as you can conveniently, comfortably handle.
So fair enough. So and if you marry under Mohammedan, so my point is so good. So if you are going to marry an Ewe man, and ordinance,
yes,
you should have no problem.
You should not. You should generally you should not have a problem.
But the person can say, well, even though we are marrying under ordinance, the person's tendency, because they are permissive of this, is that they will still have one before you or outside of you or other than you.
So it cannot, strictly speaking, be marriage. So as the accounts will say, or chimpna, right? Or chimpna, which is like, you have something on the side. You're using it in a very colloquial sense.
In a way.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is that the temptation is to see it as a negative attitude.
We've moved beyond the attitude.
No,
by your own law.
I'm just trying to correct
Let's not overpush this thing. Your own law is saying that one man, one wife. So it's not even necessarily
that. No,
by your own law.
Hold on,
I'm talking about
that's not the law.
No, there are three laws: Mohammedan, customary, and ordinance.
Exactly.
And I'm saying that a good number of people. Okay, what's the percentage of people who marry under each of the three?
No, I've not looked at the numbers, but I think a lot of people are marrying under the ordinance.
Good.
Right? And a lot of people are marrying under Mohammedan law.
By one of our friends has gone for his third under Mohammedan. And he is very happy. And he's not enjoying any negative stereotype.
You see, because generally in the Muslim faith, their scriptures
allows
not read
I think up to 4.
Yeah, but we are told that they allow it. You can go as much as 4. So to the extent you can equally love them. Right, love them equally.
Can share it.
And I'm saying that because a certain foreign view as to how many wives you must have intervened, we now see someone taking on 2.
Yeah, but societies evolve. So Ghana has 3 laws: Mohammedan, customary, and ordinance. Yes. And we are living happily with all 3. So you can just choose which one you want and do it.
Yeah, that's what it is. So if you decide you want, as many as
but the president, don't marry a man under ordinance and or don't marry a man under ordinance and then go and take a second and then use traditional society to justify it. If you want to live traditional, then marry under customary. Do you understand my point?
That's right.
So there's Ghanaian society has three.
The problem is that we have not done enough education in this space, and that's the reason why I'm actually even bringing it up, so that you know the options available to you. In the traditional home, these things are not explained. So you grow up, you see, you have gone to done the wedding, or you have gone to do the signing at the Registrar General's office, and yet when you come out and you decide that, no, I think I need, to do something.
So you want to educate people to know that if they want options, they should go under customary.
Exactly. If you want options.
Okay. So we'll make Sky the customary marriage consultant.
No, I'm just explaining.
The letter of the law.
I know. In Ghana for a decade, the leading financial service provider, that offers innovative customer solutions across Ghana. And we have a workforce of about 500 employees across the country, playing crucial roles in championing customer operations. We have a prompt claims payment policy, and we are the first insurance company to introduce WhatsApp insurance and an annuity package. And we have a 16-hour call center facility, a WhatsApp chatbot, and a self-service portal for easy accessibility. Call 0501 579 204 or visit oldmutual.com.gh for more information. And Access 10% interest collateral-free loan for up to 1 million cedis is still on. Now, the categories you have to be part of to qualify as a female entrepreneur:
BSc Information Technology and BA Theology. They also have master's programs, some professional courses, and some media short courses as well. Call them on 0202 298 399 or 0547 777 731 or visit their website hcuc.edu.gh. Heritage Christian College and University Training Compassionate Entrepreneurial Leaders. Now, in line with the government of Ghana's digitalization agenda, First Atlantic Bank has introduced a number of platforms for easy payments. Or a number of platforms so you can, sort out the following things: your GRA payment, if you are making a payment to any government agency, if you want to do postpaid or prepaid ECG payments, or SNIT Tier 1 pension contributions. Talk to First Atlantic Bank so that the hassle of payments and all of that will be taken away. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Now, are you getting good insights?
Every group does it.
Says
It's not an Ewe thing.
Ampofua is back. I like Ampofua's messages today. Let me see whether this one is good too. She says, I always don't like marrying from other tribes. So a typical Ewe would have married his own before coming to the city. Okay.
So what if the Ewe was born in the city?
That's also a stereotype, Ampofua. Yes. John from Tema. Bernard, the issue about the Ewe's marrying more than one, it's not about Ewe's being polygamous, but the likelihood of an Ewe man who marries a non-Ewe to also marry from his hometown.
It's not true. It's not true.
This is John from Tema.
It's a stereotype.
So it's a stereotype that is not true. That's true. According to Alosky.
Let's go to Bismarck in Leipzig.
From Leipzig says, the rest theory is somehow true, guys. My wife is an Ewe from Adaklu Have. Look, all I have to do when getting a gift for her is to get something with the color red or a shade of it, no matter the kind of gift it is.
I'm not saying there are no polygamous people in LSO. I'm not even saying it's negative for you. What I'm saying is that why is it no? But even your mother told you not to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
Why did your mother go and learn it from some place?
No,
that's a personal experience. So what I'm saying to you is that
because she is.
Hold on, this guy, hold on. Why are you? Let me read two comments for you.
Yeah.
This is from a lady. I don't know where she's from.
Okay.
Bernard tells Sky his theory is not scientific. It is based on his own experience.
I have not said it was scientific.
Polygamy is not a prerogative of Voltarians. All the ethnic groups practice this.
I have not said that. I have not contradicted that position.
Okay, Bernard, Sky's argument is flawed.
Okay.
This argument, by his argument, Asante Kotoko should typically have their greatest number of supporters being Ewes. Typically, polygamy was a common occurrence in the Ghanaian society.
I said that.
And had nothing to do with just Ewes.
But to be honest, too, if Kotoko goes to back as a young sports journalist.
It's okay. It's okay.
Let me finish.
You sit here, you have only one wife, Master. Keep quiet.
Bernard and company. I want to.
Or you have something you don't know
about the following stereotypes: that Evers are stingy, that Evers are controlling in relationships.
Look at that.
That most ever Christians still have some deity.
See, I don't want to go there. This is
Good morning from City. I'm a pure guy. I'm sad to say that I don't like traveling. I have my own car. I'm a great accountant and I can drive anywhere. But the long distance in a vehicle just makes me feel reluctant. If there's an occasion to attend outside Accra, I deliberate about it before I go.
Which is good.
Gone were the days when they said fras and the Gaba's favorite meat is dog. Their chimps and guns are heavy consumers now. George from Accra.
This thing about guns liking cat and dog, I find it very strange. Nathan, can you confirm? They say Teshi. Let's call Oko boy. They say there are a lot of cat eaters in Teshi. Oko boy from Teshi, which is a team from Kumasi, Asante Kotoko. But there's a strong view that, in fact,
it has nothing to do with the color.
It even came into Parliament in the 1960 something Parliament, where there was a whole claim that Agama at the time versus Victor Usu. There was a whole conversation about always being inward looking. Yeah. Right. So if Kotoko have a lot of supporters in the Volta region, there's a stereotype that they are inward looking, but that's not true.
Okay.
You know, so Sky, these things are very, very, very delicate matters that we have to be very.
You see,
Somebody says that Sky, calm down. You're opening too many keys for some people.
You see, I think
They
we
don't
have,
like what you're
we have
doing.
to be honest about things we have seen growing up, right?
I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, nobody. I'm not coming to sit here.
No, your
and
experience
pretend.
is good, but we cannot universalize it.
No,
that's
I'm
what
not.
I'm saying.
You see, Bernard. You see, that's the.
No, I'm saying I won't universalize it. I'm
you
not
see.
saying what you're saying is wrong.
What
you are saying is true for you, but me, I won't take it.
It is okay.
Yeah, that's
but
all.
I'm not.